Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got another Washington weekly stream, and I got my guy Rio from Rambling with Rio. Make sure you guys check him out. He's about to do a group chat stream in a little bit, so make sure you guys check that out. Should be fun, but appreciate having Rio on because we're going to be recapping OTAs, talking about other stuff as well. And Rio actually was at OTAs this past week, along with some other Commanders creators. So how you doing, Rio? And I appreciate you coming on.
I'm doing great, man. I had a great time at OTAs the other day, despite the fact that it was like 1,000 degrees outside. It was burning, but it was a nice, intimate setting where, like, during camp, there's thousands of people swarming the players and the coaches. Like, literally, practice ended, and the coaches just casually walk up to us on their way out. Thank you for Joey, Kobe Bekovich, and the team letting us participate in that. And we didn't get the live tweet when practice was taking place, like when they started doing team and stuff, but it was still great to be able to be there and see them doing that, seeing Chase and Payne on the side field. I had a good time, man.
Yeah, I saw that a couple people had to delete some tweets and stuff,
They
but
had the PR walking around like safety patrols, watching our phones.
yeah. But it looked like it was a lot of fun. I saw like everyone got some pictures, which is nice. Let's see. Appreciate you, Philip, for coming through. Pro Tech, make sure you guys go ahead
My
and
boy,
check him out.
Roger.
Daquan Rogers Smith, Daquavis.
Come
Appreciate everyone coming through. So, any like major takeaways? I know a lot of people have been talking about Jahan Dotson because he's looking good.
Hey,
Like
he looks good, man. He looks like the real deal, man. See, because the thing is, like, Terry not being there, it sucks because you want to see Terry, but he's Terry right now since Terry's not there. He's the X. He's the number one receiver. And when Wentz hit him on that 65-yard bomb where he went, I couldn't see what corner it was guarding him, but he went right past the corner and the free safety, and the ball was in the air at least 65 yards. And he caught it in stride, and he gets off the ball fast, man. He plays faster than his 40-yard dash time looks. And just seeing, my biggest takeaway was seeing live arms in the quarterback room, seeing Carson Wentz and Sam Howell's arms, like even Cole Kelly, like seeing arms in the quarterback room when they throw next to each other in those quarterback drills. The ball just comes out of Wentz's hand faster. He's more decisive with it. I'm excited to see Wentz, man, because they were the different looks that they were showing and stuff that we weren't supposed to be tweeting out. There was a bunch of bunch screens and triple option stuff. Like, Scott's gonna dig into his duffel bag a little bit this year, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. And one thing you brought up about Terry not being here, and maybe that, makes it so Jahan develops a little quicker. That's what I was hoping last year for
Diami.
Diami, because even though Terry was out or Terry was in, Curtis was out. So I thought, maybe Diami is going to step up a little bit. That didn't happen. We'll see if it does this year. But I feel like Jahan's a little bit different, already from the get-go. Looks like he's balling out. And it's only OTAs, but like people got like, some people hate on people that like get excited about OTAs. But like this is the only football we have right now. So like to see any big plays is it's just nice to see. And you would be concerned if you saw some bad plays, if you saw a bunch of drops or just, lack of effort. But we're hearing the opposite from Jahan Dotson. So that is great to hear for sure. And I think that, he's going to have a significant season this year for us, like a significant impact. Like he might not go for like 900, 950. He could, but I think he'll for sure be, 650, 750 plus in that range and be, that number 2 or number 3 option for us. Like he could even be, number 2 option over Curtis Samuel for us. Like that's how good he is.
I think wide receiver wise, he is going to be the number 2 option. But now that you said Curtis Samuel's name, Curtis Samuel looks good. Curtis Samuel looks damn good. He looks healthy. We even asked him, me and Jalen, we asked him how he felt. If you see the tweet going around, he was like, I'm going to turn stuff up this year, man. He was hyped. He was happy to talk about it, man.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. He was happy. That got a bunch of whatever likes and stuff. And I
Yeah, he
saw
was hyped, man. Like he was like, most of the players were chill coming out of practice, man. He was like, "What's going on with y'all, man?" Like he was like, "I'm turning shit up this year, man. Like I'm ready." Like
he's got something like not necessarily to prove like big time, but like he wants to show that like he can be that number 2 option. And like you look at his stats with the Panthers, like every single year his numbers went up. And that's why I was so excited for him last year, because like you saw that growth every year. And I thought he was going to do that this year or this past year for us. Obviously didn't happen. But yeah, I think that was another takeaway. Like even just looking at the videos from like last week and even this week, like he looked like he was, really quick, sharp turns, and his cuts look good as well. So like I'm excited for that. And like hopefully there's no injuries, knock on wood. But at the minimum, we have an insurance policy in Dotson or Curtis, so that if one of those guys goes down, we still have another viable option. Because man, like we had Dontrell Inman, Jeff Badette, Robert Foster, Steven Sims, Kelvin Harmon. Like I like Kelvin Harmon. Like maybe he'll make the practice squad, or that maybe the last receiver on the team. But like you don't want those guys as your number 2 receivers. Like besides Cam Sims, the last couple of years, really Terry hasn't had anyone besides him, and it really, really has hurt him. Like that's almost has hurt him as bad as much as not having a good quarterback. So like, what are your thoughts on these 3 receivers this year? Your expectations for them?
I think this. What's up, Jahan? By the way, they haven't released the dates yet, but I would imagine the last week of July is going to be the first week of camp, and it's looking like Ashburn and not Richmond. Don't quote me on it yet, though. But I think the receiving group, and I'd even throw in Diami's name. Those 4, Carson Wentz, the combination. Like I don't think Carson Wentz has had a receiving group this good since he's been in the league. The offense looks like I didn't even pay attention to the defense the other day at OTA. I looked at 2 players on defense. I looked at Fedarian Mathis and Cole Holcomb. They stood out to me defensively, but I was glued to the quarterbacks and the weapons, the running backs, the receivers, and Carson. Like Carson looks different. He looks like something I've never seen us have. Like he's this 6'5", 240-pound guy. He looks leaner this year, which is interesting. And he has an absolute cannon, but he gets the ball out of his hands quick. He has a quick release. I think this offense the offense could be the strength of the team this year. I need the defense to live up to their draft statuses and high expectations we have for them, but I'm very optimistic about the offense for sure, man.
Yeah, I agree and appreciate that donation. And yeah, I think like Rio said, it's usually at the end of July for last week of July, sometime around then. And yeah, I think Kime said it's probably not going to be in Richmond. So like you said, likely in Ashburn, which honestly is closer to me anyway. So I'm good with that.
Me too.
But yeah, appreciate that donation. So I mean, OTAs, I think, is it just me, or like I feel like last year the media was out there like almost every single day, and this year it's like they're out there once a week. Like what do you
selectively? I don't know. It's weird. It's interesting. That's why I appreciated the fact that we got our own day as content creators, ambassadors, and a couple season ticket holders. It was really nice to have that intimate moment without the media. Without the media there, Yeah. But I do wish we could have live tweeted a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because shout out to the media, but I feel like us content creators, our community, we get as much information to the fans out as the media. So not being able to just tweet and record at least a little bit during the practice, like it was a little, it's a little disappointing, but I had a great time, man.
Yep. Let's see. What's up, Casper Hill, Brandon, DeAndre Taylor, Roger Smith, Protect, Donald, G-Man, Brent, Philip. Appreciate all you guys for coming through. And yeah, I agree with that. It's like sometimes I'm trying to get some clips for like, the middle of the video. I usually do like an intro and then show some highlights from, the camp. But like sometimes it's like no highlights, even when the media goes there. And like some of the reporters do a really good job. Usually JP doesn't do it, but like the last few weeks, like he's been putting out a bunch of clips, which is really nice. And then, Kime usually does it as well. So, whenever they put out the clips, I really appreciate it. Cause like when we're not there, when no one's there except for the media, like you're just going off of tweets and sometimes you want to actually see it. So I really appreciate it when they do post the clips, because it really gives the fans a little bit of a visual so that they can see what's actually going on.
And it's a visual world. Content is king. So if you can get anything, like I was able to get a little bit of stretching and a little bit of individual drills, but I didn't get as much. Also, I was just taking in the time with all the other creators and just talking to everybody. So, but I was glad I was able to get a little something there,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tyrone Williams, appreciate the $2 donation. Says even if Terry come back, Dotson and Wentz is a lock. I don't know if I'm reading that emoji right. Am I or what?
No, I think he's saying it's a lock. They locked in or something, but
Yeah,
they're all locked in, bro. I think the offense is gonna take off, man. This is the year we can really judge Scott Turner.
Yes, I am so exactly. And I've been like the last couple of years, I've been giving Scott Turner a pass, because like, can you really judge him when, Taylor Heineke's been his QB?
Roger gonna kill us for that, but I feel you. I feel the same way.
Yeah, exactly. I know Roger's not a Scott Turner guy at all, but I still, the jury is still out. Like, I'm not a Scott Turner guy. I just want to see what he can do with a capable QB. Not even an average QB, because I think Wentz can be an average or above average QB. Like, even if we just had a below average QB, like that would be enough to judge the offense. We have had the worst QB play over the last few years. Like, people do not understand that. And now we have Wentz who's capable. And man, Wentz has been getting disrespected. Like, these fans from other teams think he's like a bottom 5 QB. There's like they're ranking NFC East quarterbacks, and like he's the last behind Daniel Jones.
And ratings are stupid. Like, it's all kinds of nonsense.
Yep. And we got my guy Juan on here. I saw him turn it on. Let's see. What's up, Juan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
It's good. I'm trying to fix my camera. Hold on.
All right, you're good. You're good. But yeah, man, I'm excited for sure. What's up, Gunner? He says, I agree with you on Turner. We will get to see for the first time if he's a good OC, and I agree. And like, even like for that stretch of time, we won those 4 games. Like, he did a really good job with almost no one. Like, if you think about it, like Logan Thomas was out, Curtis Samuel was out, all the whole offensive line was basically out, and he was still like the offense was still pretty good for those 4 games. And I mean, once all those injuries started to happen, we started to struggle. But I'm excited to see what Scott Turner can do this year.
What up, boy?
What's up, Juan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's good, man?
Oh, what's up, y'all? My
What up,
bad
man?
for being late, man. My computer.
No, you're good. You're good. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey, I want to say congratulations, man, on graduating, bro. That's big stuff, man.
Appreciate it. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was yesterday. Got home. The grind don't stop. Made a video. After I had some lunch with the fam. But yeah, appreciate that. So Juan, I know you weren't at OTAs, but we talked about it earlier. Rio was. Any kind of thoughts from like just the outside looking in? Any clips you saw from the last couple of days, or anything you've been seeing?
Yeah. First, I'll say that's huge, man, for all the burgundy and gold. You know what I'm saying? The Washington Commanders. Content creators going there. That's big. I love to see that. Me personally, no, like there was no clip I would say that's really like that was like wow, because I mean it's not something I haven't seen already. Like, it's OTAs at the end of the day, so I don't want to get too excited too ahead of myself because I done did that before and look what that then got me. So I mean, like,
if you would have let us get that Dotson bomb off, y'all would have been like, ooh. That's
they didn't let you record.
Yeah, they didn't want us live tweeting that it happened, bro.
Wow. I wonder why though. Like,
it's a thing. Like, they do it to the media too. They restrict certain parts of practice, and they're not.
Yeah, it's like 11v11 certain times.
The man went streaking down the field 65 yards and Wentz hit him in stride between the corner and the safety, bro.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm hearing that, like, that he's killing it. Which I'm not surprised at all. He's a 4-year senior. He's the most NFL ready receiver coming out of this draft. So not surprised that he adjusted to the speed of the game so quickly. But since then we can't really see nothing. I mean, no, besides, I guess I would say that connection that they're building, I guess that's one positive of Terry not being there, is that Carson can focus on getting that rapport with Curtis and Jahan. But other than that, I mean, not really too much. Maybe AGG playing tight end or something. But other than that, not too much for me.
That doesn't move the needle for me, man. He looks so tiny next to all the tight ends, bro. Oh, Cole Turner looks like an absolute stud, bro. Oh my, he's one of the first things that stood out when they got on the field for me. He looks the part. He looks like the guy. Like,
yeah, and I kind of like that tight end room now because you got Logan when he's back, we know what he is, great red zone threat, just a big body for Carson to throw at, and he's the top 10 tight end I think when he's healthy. Then you kind of got the best of both worlds in John Bates, who's a very very good blocker and a solid pass catcher. Like at the second half of the year, he was doing pretty good, and then you got Cole Turner, not a great blocker, but a really big target and a solid pass catcher who used to play receiver, now playing tight end. I love that mesh of, three different players, some, guys that were other positions like Logan Thomas, Cole Turner, and, Samus Reyes even. He was playing basketball, and he's your kind of developmental guy. You also got Hodges, who Philip just mentioned. He's like 6'8", out of Arizona State. I know Logan Paulson really likes him. So, I like the potential of this tight end room, and I'm praying that Logan Thomas is able to start the season healthy. He probably won't, but we'll see. What do you guys think about that tight end room?
Yeah, so the tight end room, man, I like it. I'm high on it. And I know a lot of people aren't. And the reason why I'm high on it is because I'm high on John Bates. Like, a lot of people don't like John Bates. A lot of people say he's a tight end 3, which maybe he will be. Behind Cole Turner and Logan Thomas, but I think that's not his ceiling. I think he can definitely be a tight end too. Like, I'm comfortable to the point with how good this offense is on paper that if Logan Thomas can't start week 1 and we have to put John Bates out there as tight end 1, which I think they would do over Cole Turner, not because they feel like he's better, but just because he has that 1-year experience over him, I would be fine with John Bates being tight end 1 for a couple games. I mean, he showed enough for me to like him. I mean, we got him last year from Boise State to be a blocking tight end, and he immediately showed that he can catch the ball, and he showed that in the game. So I'm high on this tight end room. I'm higher on this tight end room than most, and that has to do with not just Logan Thomas, but I'm really high on John Bates.
Okay, and me, I'm high on the room because the other guy, that Cole Turner, I'm telling you, Cole Turner gets me excited, man.
He's my favorite draft pick.
He gets me freaking excited, bro. Seeing that dude up close, man. He just, how some guys, you just see him in the uniform. You just see him how they walk. And, so he got the hair coming out of the helmet. He looks like a legitimate star tight end, bro. He's huge. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's not slow. Like, Bates is slow. I like Bates, though. I think he's a good balanced tight end. But Bates looks significantly slower than all the tight ends I see running out there. AGG actually looks fast running against the tight ends, though, but he should when he's a wide receiver convert. I think there may be a little embellishment involved with the whole AGG is 250 now. I don't think he's 250. Like, he looks like he's probably like 236, 237, but I like the tight end room, man. The offense excites me, bro. Like, I didn't even really pay attention to the defense, bro. I was glued to the skill position players and the quarterbacks, man. I wanted to see live arms, what it looked like to have more than one in the room. That Cole Kelly kid, he's too tall. Like, he's so tall that he looks uncoordinated, and like he hit a growth spurt he wasn't supposed to. It was an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, and one thing that, about the tight end position, like, you don't need to draft a guy in the first, second, or third round for the guy to be a stud. Like, George Kittle was a mid-round pick. Mark Andrews, I think, was like a second or third round pick. So, like, you don't need to draft a guy super, super early, like, to get a good tight end. And Cole Turner could be a solid guy for us. We will see. Hopefully we hit on him. Let's see. Tyrone Williams, appreciate the $5 donation, says Terry lost his number 1 job. Listening to the media, plus Dotson just better. Terry was a 3rd, Dotson a 1st, and Logan job gone. What do you guys think about that?
Man, my man Rio handled that.
No, that's not the case. I think though that Dotson should be expected to produce at a high clip where we drafted him, considering. For sure. Drafted Terry to be a gunner, but he turned out to be really good. But I'm not saying he lost this, lost his job. But as of right now, he's playing Terry until Terry's deal gets done and he shows up. But honestly, I don't want Terry even taking chances right now. Like, even if he get his deal, I don't want to see him. I don't need this. I don't need to see Terry. Like, he's gonna build rapport with Carson. He's a good receiver. He's built rapport with the absolute dreck that we've thrown out on the field for the last 3 years. So he's going to build rapport with a good quarterback. You know
exactly. And if you think about it, like there's no reason for Terry McLaurin to be there right now. He doesn't have a contract. You know, he could be risking, even though it's a very, very, small risk, he could risk getting injured, out for the year, loses, some leverage in the contract situation. And like even though there's like, it's a very small chance, but like guys, get injured, like tear the ACL or anything like that on very simple plays, like even just running routes. And they're doing that in OTAs. So like just not being there minimizes your risk when like there's not that much of an upside for him being there. Like, yes, he can, get some chemistry with Carson, but like he's a guy where that should not be an issue. Like, think about all the quarterbacks he's played with and he's produced with. Like, he's like produced with guys when he literally met the guy that week, like with like Garrett Gilbert and like other guys. So like I really like we do not need to worry about chemistry with Carson Wentz and Terry. He will be like, sure, it's great if they do get some work in, which they will. But it's not a big deal at all, but appreciate the donation. I think one thing, though, maybe this could open the possibility where, like, Jahan's our number 2 to start out the season over Curtis Samuel.
I don't think Curtis is going to be the number 2 on the outside. I think he's going to be, like, interchangeable slot guy, but he's starting. I think it will be Dotson out, like, opposite Terry. But I do think Cole Turner could be tight end 1 to start the year, though. I do think that.
Even if Logan Thomas is healthy?
No, but I think he could take that job at some point. He looks like a tight end, bro. Maybe. He looks like a vertical, linear move tight end. Like, not put your hand in the dirt and block nobody, but he looks like a legit pass weapon as a tight end.
And what I meant more by, like, number 2, like, not number 2, I was kind of saying, like, number 2 option. Like,
number 2 option.
Yeah, but, like, I feel you. Like, Jahan's going to be playing on the outside. He can also play on the slot. Terry, that's what I like. Those 3 receivers can literally play anywhere. But yeah, ideally you got Terry on the outside with Jahan on the outside and Curtis in the slot. But like you said, Rio, super, super excited about this offense. Like, this offense should be a lot better than we've had in the past. Like, we don't need it to be top 5 or top 7. Just like we haven't had an above average offense in a long time. And like I think someone put out the stat a couple live streams ago to me that they said like we haven't had our second receiver hasn't gone over 500 yards since 2017. Think about how crazy that is. Like, we might get we should get 3 500 plus receivers this year, maybe even 4. I don't know. I don't think De'Ami Brown will get over 4, but like, or over 500, but he could. So like that's insane right there. Let's see. And I know Rio's got to go right now. So appreciate you coming through, Rio. It was really fun. And guys, once you guys are done here, you guys can go now. Go to Rio's stream at 7:30 with, he's going to have a bunch of people on. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that out and subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for having me on. Oh, before I go, I just wanted to say, I told Carson when I met him, we haven't had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns here since 1967. I was like, I've never seen it. Please. And he just humbly smiled, laughed, and said, I'm going to give y'all my best, man. I promise.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, man. Appreciate y'all, guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right, peace, bro.
Peace. All right, man. So appreciate Rio coming on. Now it's just going to be me and Juan chopping it up right here. So let's see. I got a donation right here. Tyrone Williams said, but Terry was drafted in the 3rd for a reason. Well, yes, when he was going into the draft, people undervalued him. Same thing that happened with like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th, but he was still a really good, obviously the best player of all time. Like Philip B said, London Fletcher was undrafted, and he turned out to be great. So like, Jahan Dotson could end up being a star. We'll see. But I think Terry is definitely our number 1, and I appreciate that advance for sure. So yeah, let's see.
I
appreciate Rio coming on. And what do you want to say, Juan?
Oh, no, I was just looking at the comments section. The last time he said that offense considered dangerous was 1999. That may be true, but for us, I would consider 16. Would you consider 16 dangerous? I would. I would consider 16 dangerous.
You got Pierre, Jameson Crowder, Deshaun Jackson. Like, that's
Jordan Reed.
yeah, Jordan Reed, Kirk Cousins. Like I know Kirk Cousins isn't like amazing, but like he's solid. And then you got Trent Williams on that offensive line, Brandon Sheriff, Chase Roulier. Like that was a good team.
Morgan Moses, and but then again, 17 we had the number 2 passing offense. So 17, I don't know if you would consider it dangerous. I mean, you would consider our passing attack dangerous, but I'm 99. But for me, I wouldn't be able to know because I wasn't born. But for me, for all the times that I've been alive, I think 16 may have been the most dangerous offense I've witnessed. But yeah, I just want to address that.
Yeah, and yeah, Super Chef. No, we're not ending the show. We'll probably go on for like another 30+ minutes. But Rio's got to go. He's got a show on soon. What's up, Fat American? Appreciate you coming through. But I'm excited to see more and more clips, and hopefully once we get into training camp, we'll get more and more. And then the preseason, like the preseason is gonna be fun this year. With like we're gonna get to see Sam Howell. Like Sam Howell's gonna get significant time, so that's gonna be good. We got Jahan Dotson. We got so many young guys that are going to be playing significant time for us, and I'm excited to see that for sure. So we kind of talked about what we needed for OTAs. I guess we can talk about attendance real quick. Chase Young was back, Montez Sweat was back, Deron Payne was still there, not participating fully, but I guess that's what was reported. I don't know if it's true because we've had some like conflicting reports, but he was there. So everyone was there this week, unless someone was not there for a personal issue. So that's good to see. Chase Young, even though he's not practicing, he was there. He was rehabbing inside. He's with the guys, so I love that. And yeah, I mean, not a big issue.
Yeah, me, like I said, man. Even if he wasn't there, I wouldn't have cared. Yeah, like obviously you want him there since the season he turned in last year, you want him there, like of course. But then again, it's like it doesn't matter. It's OTAs, it's voluntary, and like Charles Leno put it, I don't care if he's rehabbing in Indonesia, as long as we got him on Sundays, we cool. So I'm not really looking too much into it. Of course, like I said, I would love him there, but like, what more is he? What is he going to be able to do? Just stand there and watch? Like I said, his presence there is amazing. You need his presence, but it's like it's not a big deal. It's not like he's just skipping out because he isn't healthy. Now it would be different if he was healthy and he wasn't showing up. That's why I would wonder how he would react if he wasn't healthy. Because last year he was healthy and he didn't show up, but that was because he was doing commercials and off the field stuff, Family Feud. But now that he's healthy and he turned in the season that he did turn in, would he showed up? I would like to think he would have, but we'll see. I'm glad to see that he's here now. Not that big of a deal that he wasn't because he's rehabbing elsewhere. So.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. So read a couple comments before I get to the donation. It says, do you think there'll be any trick plays with Sam Howell? And no, I don't think so, because I don't think Sam Howell is going to be playing for us. I think he's going to be our third string guy, but maybe even when he's like a second string guy, he's not going to be getting any trick plays. But yeah, appreciate that. Let's see. So Dor Gunner thinks Cam Sims should be our number 5 or number 6 receiver. I think it should be a rotational guy. So I would throw in like anywhere from 4 to 6. I think that's a good. Like obviously Terry, Jahan, and Curtis are over him for sure. I think Diami should be over him. I don't know if he will though. So like if Diami hits or if he like somewhat hits, then he'll be over Cam, and then Cam will be your 5th. Like I think Cam is solid. Like last year, he wasn't getting much playing time. I think he should have gotten more than he did. But he's not a number 1. He's not a number 2. Probably not a number 3. Like he's a rotational receiver. And maybe with Carson Wentz, he'll be a little bit better because he's a bigger body receiver. But yeah, I mean, he's nothing crazy. But, he's a good player to have on the team. DeAndre Taylor, appreciate the $2 donation. He says, I guess it's safe to say Juan likes the hat now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it grew on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely probably gonna get a different one. I like it. It grew on me, but the guy kind of messed it up, man. He got 2 different yellows on here, so it's cool though. I like it. You know what I'm saying? It's fine.
Yeah. Appreciate that donation, DeAndre.
Appreciate that, man.
Fat American, what's up? He says, what do you guys think of Dotson? I'm trying to be level-headed, but man, I'm excited for this offense. I also like Scott. And I'm kind of in that same situation because, like, it's OTA, so you can't get too excited, but we're hearing great things from Jahan Dotson. Like, we've been saying it for a while, me and you, Juan. Like, he gives us Terry vibes.
Yeah.
And, like, Terry was kind of letting it up also in like OTAs and stuff. So obviously we're not saying he's going to be Terry, but he's giving us those vibes. Like you listen to his press conferences, same kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't think Jahan Dotson is going to go out there and get 1,000 plus yards. He could maybe, but I think like it's reasonable to expect like in that 700 range. Like I think that's pretty, 650 to 850. Like in that range, I think if he does that, that's a pretty successful season. And I also do like Scott Turner. I think he's been just in a bad situation with all the poor QBs that he's had, like the bad QB play he's had, and the lack of really offensive weapons the last couple of years. So excited to see what he can do with this offense. And I'm excited to see also Curtis Samuel and Terry and Jahan all on the field at the same time. Hopefully it does happen because, I mean, like you look at Terry, he's been working with like not great receivers before this. So having all these guys together on the same field with a competent QB, man, that is really going to help out Terry McLaurin so much, and it's going to help out this offense so much. So I'm excited. Am I expecting them to be a top 5 offense? No, but I think it's reasonable to expect them to be an above average offense. And like you look at the last few years, we've been one of the worst offenses in the league. So being an average or above average offense, in my opinion, is a win if the defense can be above average as well.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely think this offense may not be top 5, but maybe like top 15, 10. I don't know if it's quite top 5 yet, because I mean, you still got like, even though they lost Tyreek Hill, you still got like Kansas City, Buffalo, Tampa Bay.
Rams.
Let's see the Rams. Yeah, the Rams, and let's see, maybe who could I think in the AFC?
Packers.
Maybe the
Packers.
Browns. The Browns, maybe, or
Browns.
yeah, like so. I think maybe like top 15, 10ish will be fine with me.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's see. This is another good question. He said, "Ask Lou this over under 9.5." This is like that's like the perfect over under for me because I've kind of been like debating 9 or 10 for so long. So I'll be optimistic and I'll go 10 just because of the improved QB play, the easier schedule, and hopefully we don't get like screwed by, COVID and like a bunch of injuries at the end of the season. I'll take the over on that and I appreciate the donation. How about you, Juan?
I mean, I said that we were going 11-6. Like I feel like there's no way we can win. There's no way we shouldn't win at least 10. I think I have us going 11-6. So I'm gonna take the over 2.
All right, yeah. So appreciate that donation. Said Philip B. Man, appreciate the donation, $20. He says appreciate the content. Speaking of, what do you guys have planned during the lulls of the off season? And yeah, that's when it's tough for us. But we'll ask you guys for video suggestions. But I'm thinking about doing some rookie breakdowns, stuff like that. Any free agents we sign, stuff like that, and maybe some random things in there like expectations for certain players, stuff like that. It should be good. But yeah, I'm gonna need some ideas from you guys. We all will. So you guys got any ideas? Hit us up on Twitter or in the comments section of any video, giving us a video idea because it really does help us out, and we'll shout you out. But yeah, man, I appreciate that donation and appreciate the congratulations on the graduation. He said 11-6 this year, hopefully, and I agree. Honestly, if we win double digit games this year, if we win 10, I am happy. And if we win a playoff game, I'm ecstatic. Because we haven't won a playoff game since 2005. Like that, yeah. Come on, we got to win we got to win a playoff game in the next couple years. Hopefully, we can do it this year with Wentz. I'm excited to see this offense. Also, excited to see if the defense can step up and be what we thought they would be what we thought they would be last year. Not necessarily like the best defense in the NFL, but like a top 10 unit. So hopefully they can at minimum be an above average defense this year, but maybe creep into that top 10 as well, because that's where they should be with the talent that they have. But I think that they might not do it if they don't improve the linebackers. Like right now, you got 2 like NFL linebackers, in my opinion, in Jamin Davis and Cole Holcomb, and they got like backups, maybe like backups at best in David Mayo, Khaleke Hudson, who's like a hybrid. So Like, they've got to improve some pieces that I think they still can. Like, there's guys out there. What do you think, Juan, about the whole thing?
Yeah, me personally, man, I agree. Like I made a video on it. There's some veteran guys like I would like Dante Hightower here just for his veteran presence and his Super Bowl experience. But me personally, I know Washington, I know Ron Rivera, and if anything, he's probably going to bring back John Bostic. If anything, but I don't think he's going to do anything. I think he's going to roll into the season with what we have, which is not a smart idea. But again, that means that you're just banking heavily on health and you're banking heavily on Jamin Davis to have a big year two leap and Cole Holcomb to really take strides forward now being the Mike linebacker role. So again, I would do something there like a Dante Hightower, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to. I would if he wasn't so injury prone, man. I would love to see what K. Alexander would be because he's so talented, man. He's just always hurting. If it was me, I would take a chance on him because he's so young. He's 27 years old, but I don't think Washington's going to do anything.
Sorry, I was on mute. I agree with that and appreciate that donation. So someone asked, should Sam Howell start in 2023 or 2024? I mean, like, we just have no idea of knowing that right now. Like, we got to see what Carson Wentz looks like in year one before answering that question. If he looks good, then let's keep Carson Wentz and have Sam Howell as our backup or third string, depending on what happens with Heineke. But if, Carson Wentz struggles, then maybe you could start Howell in 2023, but I think it's too early to talk about that. Let's see. Commanders going 17-0. I think that's Fat American. Says people blame the defense last year, rightfully so, but how many damn times was our offense in position to score and didn't versus Green Bay and Denver? And I mean, yeah, like you got Heineke who's right at the goal line and he does a slide or whatever he did. That sucked. We had a bunch. Yeah, we had like even like a couple times. Taylor Heineke threw like a fade pass to the end zone and it got picked. I think one against the Saints and I think one against like the Falcons or maybe Denver as well. Like really unfortunate situations. I think part of that though is because of like first we had Heineke as our QB. We had like Ricky Seals-Jones for a lot of the season as our starting tight end, who's like good, but he's not a starting tight end. I mean, I guess now he is for the Giants, but like you shouldn't have him as your starter. We had a ton of injuries all over the field, all over the offense. So like the offense definitely should have played better last year, but the defense definitely disappointed. And the thing that sucked is that they were playing really solid for like 4, 5, 6 games straight. And then, the virus hits and injuries hit and it just all went downhill from there, which really, really sucked. But so hopefully I want to see what this team can do healthy. Like if they don't play well, okay. But I just want to see what this team is when they are healthy. We haven't been able to see that. Like obviously there's going to be injuries. Like there's going to be a couple guys that are out every year. But last year, especially like the second half of the year, it was just so many guys. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Curtis Samuel, Landon Collins, William Jackson, Chase Roulier, Tyler Larson, Wes Schweitzer, Sam Cosmi, like Benjamin. Everyone was out, guys. Everyone was out. So I want to see what these guys can do healthy. But yeah, I think you're mute.
Hello, can you hear my fault?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Fat American, man. Last year, we looked at these games, man, like Kansas City, Green Bay, Denver. If we could just score more points and actually take advantage and actually punch it in the red zone, we possibly win those games.
Some Gibson fumbles as well in like unfortunate areas, which in the red zone, like you said.
Yeah, and like I don't want to go back to week one because you still don't know what happens during that game. Justin Herbert may very well still drive down the field and score, but I would like to think if Gibson doesn't fumble right there, we probably going to maybe win that game. So again, yeah, I agree with Fat American wholeheartedly with that stance that he took.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I saw someone. Okay, Josh says, how many sacks do you think Chase Young and Montez Sweat will have this season? It's so hard to tell. Like, it's just so hard because you don't know, if Chase. I mean, I think Chase Young's gonna play the whole season. but I don't know. I don't know about Montez Sweat either. Like, it's just, I mean, he's going to play, but it's so hard to predict. But I'm hoping double-digit sacks for Chase Young. And, it would be nice to have 20 combined from both those at least. But, I know that's asking a lot, but, they're both first-round picks. Chase Young, number 2 overall pick. Like, if we could get 20-plus sacks from, both of them combined, that would be nice. But it's just so hard to predict at this point.
Yeah, I know it's hard to predict, but it's just a prediction. I'm gonna say Chase. Forgot what I said earlier, man. Early in the offseason when I did this, I think I said for Tez I'll be fine with like 8, and Chase I think I said like 11 or 10. I forgot. But I'm gonna just say it here. I think Chase is gonna get like 10.5, and I think Ted's gonna get like 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing about Chase Young, 10.5, and then I'll go Montez. I'll go 10. So let's hope they can do that. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is a big year for Chase. It's not even about the sacks. Like, obviously, if you want to be a successful edge rusher in this league, you got to get sacks. But like you got to also when you're not getting sacks, like at least be productive in terms of like getting pressures, blocking some passes, being dominant in the run game. And most of last season, he wasn't doing those things except for being pretty good in the run game. So I'm really, really hoping that he bounces back and just shuts up the haters. But we'll see. We'll see if he does it, because I don't know. I mean, first year he did it, especially the second half of the year. But that last year he didn't. Even though like he did get some sacks taken off the board. Like I think he had one sack where there was a penalty that really
Falcons.
didn't affect. No, that's another one. But there was one where there was a penalty on someone else on the defense, and it didn't affect the play at all. And then there was another one where, like you said, he got called for roughing the passer, and it was that was such BS. And that, that's like 2.5 sacks right there taken off his thing. And instead of having 1.5 sacks, you would have had 4, which obviously isn't great, but 4 sacks heading into week 9 or whatever. Whatever. He played, I think he didn't play week 10 fully, so let's say in 9 games, 1 or 4 sacks. It's not great, but like you could have made a spin on it, like, okay, he can probably get you 6, 7 sacks in the second half of the season. But he just that killed him. That really did kill him. Real quick, so I wanted to talk about salary cap update, and I agree, DeAndre. 2 double-digit sacks for both of them would be good. So salary cap update, we got about $12 million more in cap space right now with the Landon Collins official release, because it's a June 1st cut. So I think right now they have around $19 million in cap space. So they're in a much better situation now, so they can use some of that money for a Terry McLaurin contract. Like, here's the thing. If they make agree to a contract extension with him, he's already on the books for this year. So they can just, move that amount up to I think it's like a $3 million, maybe they can move it up to $9 million, and that'll make the, amount per year cheaper over the next few years. So that's what they can do. So they can use some of the money for that, maybe for Cole Holcomb as well, maybe even Deron Payne. Like, I think the, ship has sailed on that, but, maybe they can with this new money. What do you think about the new money coming in officially, and what do you think they can do with it?
Yeah, I think that money is probably going to go to Terry. I think it's going to go for Terry. But, yeah, they could definitely try to, besides resigning Terry, use that for Cole Holcomb and or some veteran free agents. Maybe bring back Eric Flowers if like Fat American said, maybe. I don't know if they value the left guard or guard depth as important anymore now they have Andrew Norwell, Trey Turner, Wes Schweitzer, City Charles. But yeah, I think that money is probably going to go to Terry more likely than not. Maybe you bring back Landon Collins, who knows? But I think if I had to put money on it, I think it's going to go to Terry.
Yeah, I agree. And you just brought up a name that I've heard, Sadiq Charles. So far, I've heard he's been struggling big time. And this is from, I think, Mitch Tischler said it after the first week of OTAs. And I think I saw something from, Zach Selby or something that, Montez Sweat beat someone or something like that where, Sadiq Charles got beat pretty bad. So it's this year, like every year Ron Rivera has some surprise cuts, right? I mean, I guess it already kind of happened already with Eric Flowers, but like there could still be some, and I could see. I know it's not a huge surprise, but I could see the possibility. Let's say Chris Paul looks really good. Maybe they cut Sadiq Charles if he continues to struggle. And I mean, I don't think that'll happen. Like I still have him making the team because he's still athletic, played okay at times last year, and has that position flex where he can play every spot except for center. But if he continues to struggle, that could be a surprise cut right there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it will though, just because then they would have to go out and I mean, like you said, Chris Paul definitely can play tackle and guard, but then I feel like that opens up another hole. But then again, like you said, you can kill two birds with one stone with having Chris Paul. So that definitely wouldn't be surprising at all because again, Sadiq Charles, the biggest problem for him with me was he couldn't stay healthy. Like even and when he was at times, he didn't look the best last year. So maybe he does get cut. And like you said, Ron always had these surprise cuts each and every year, going back to 2020 AP to for Gibson, Morgan Moses, for Cosme. So it typically has these cuts. You're right, and Sadiq Charles definitely wouldn't be surprising to me.
Sorry, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Roger says, I know he had reconstructive knee surgery. He doesn't need to be rushed back. I mean, yeah, he doesn't need to be rushed back, but I think I think he'll be good to go, though. I think he should be good to go. And yeah, they signed Effie Obata, who I think he'll be solid for them. Like, I think Effie Obata is going to be a sleeper for us. I think he's going to be a good edge rush. And I still think they should bring in another one that can play okay. But, I'm excited to see what Effie Obata can do. I think he's definitely going to be better than some people think. But I think they still need some depth on that D line, like maybe another D tackle. Because right now they have John Allen, Deron Payne, Fedarian Mathis. Besides that, like they really don't have anyone. Like they have some guys like James Smith Williams who can play both spots, Daniel Wise who can kind of play both spots. But like I think they should get another D tackle. What do you think?
Deron, John, Fedarian. Am I missing somebody?
I mean, there's a couple guys. Like, really? There's no other. What?
Daniel Wise.
But he plays both. He plays edge and D tackle. So, like, those are the only three true D tackles, unless they're making a position switch with maybe James Smith Williams. Like, you're gonna need more than three guys. Like, I think at least get someone like maybe Starlu Taleli or someone like that.
Yeah, and that's a guy that I'm surprised they still haven't got. Considering the fact of the back, the Panthers background and Brent Collins brings up Shaka Toney. I think Shaka Toney is too athletic to be a D tackle. Unless you were just saying his name in general. I don't think you were saying his name for D tackle. My bad. But Fedarian Mathis, John Allen, Deron. Yeah, I think we should add another D tackle. I definitely agree now that I think about it because I was like Fedarian. Danny Wise could play D tackle and he played it well. But then again, last year he played better on the edge in his short time when he actually played. So, me personally, I would roll with Danny Wise considering the fact he can play both. Because then again, how often are we going to use 3D linemen? Like 3D tackles. I don't think that's going to be often. And then when one of the guys get tired, he submits for Fedarian Mathis. So I think I could see them either staying in house with Danny Wise or they could add another one for sure. But if I had to be a betting man, I think they just roll with Danny Wise or just roll with what they have.
Or even like someone like James Smith Williams. I think that could be possible as well. Real quick before we get to the donations, says which group do y'all think still needs work? Linebacker, and that transitions is a good transition to this donation. Says and appreciate that $2 donation from Bloodshot Sports. Says how about Ogletree at linebacker? Yeah, I mean Alec Ogletree would be all right. I mean honestly, guys, I've been saying this for a while. Anyone besides what we have, after Jamin Davis and Cole Holcomb, I'll take him. Give me anyone besides David Mayo as that next man up. Like we need someone. So could be Ogletree, could be Dante Hightower, could be Alexander Johnson, who I wish we could sign. I know I'm missing Schobert. I know he could be an option. Quan Alexander. Like, there's a lot of options that are much, much better than what we have at linebacker right now. So we need to try to get someone else. And Ogletree is better than David Mayo, in my opinion. David Mayo is a good special teams linebacker, maybe your fifth linebacker on the team, not your third guy, which he is right now. Appreciate that donation. And yeah, Shaka Tony, I see a bunch of people talking about him in the comments about moving on a linebacker. I mean, I think Jack Del Rio said that was a possibility like when we drafted him, he could play a Sam linebacker position. Still could happen, but I think they're going to keep him at edge. But like he's a little bit of a smaller guy, so maybe it could happen. We'll see those Samus Reyes at D tackle. I mean, he's built like that. He's definitely built like that. Roger Smith says John Bostic is coming back. Sorry, it is what it is. Hey, I do not like John Bostic as a player. Like, I don't think he's a good player, and he is a good person. I'll take John Bostic over David Mayo, and I do not like John Bostic at all. Like, I think he's not a good linebacker at all, but I think he's probably better than David Mayo. I don't know. It's probably pretty close, but they need to bring someone in besides those two, though. Besides those two, they should bring someone else in. I mean, we already talked about this, but, like, you agree with that? Like, we need to bring in someone else because we're literally one – because already, if we play any snaps with three linebackers David Mayo's playing – if Jamin Davis or Cole Holcomb even get injured for a week, David Mayo's starting. David Mayo should never be your next man up unless you're just screwed with injuries like we were the last couple weeks of last season.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about this, like with the veteran linebackers that I would love to bring in. John Bostic, like my man Tim Sports Talk said, man, he gets everyone else in place besides himself. Like, he lines up all 10 guys, but just somehow he's always out of place. I'll definitely take that over David Mayo. I'll take Mason Foster over David Mayo. I'll take all the bad linebackers that we've had in the past that can't cover over David Mayo, right? But yeah, you definitely right. We're definitely an injury away. And we're an injury away from David Mayo having to be in the lineup. Milo Eifel, however you say his name, being in the lineup, being highlighted on Sunday Night Football again. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But again, I think we're gonna run two linebacker sets. So I think we may end up going with what we already have on the roster. I don't know if they add another veteran. I would love for them to, but I don't know if they do. But Ron Rivera, then again, he talks about adding veteran presence, veteran linebackers. So maybe he waits to after the training camp to see who gets cut, or maybe after preseason or something, or what's after training camp to see who gets cut, and maybe he bring in somebody. But the depth on the linebacking core right now is terrible. It is terrible.
It's awful. And someone said bring back Landon Collins. Bring back Landon Collins. Get him for pretty cheap, and play him at primarily at linebacker, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good for sure. Let's see, and yeah, Dr. McLaurin really wants us to sign McLaurin, and yes, we have to. Like, if we don't sign Terry McLaurin before the season starts, like, our off season was a failure. Like, I don't care what anyone else says. Like, that was like one of the top 3 things on the priority list was getting Terry McLaurin extended. Like, besides finding a franchise QB and maybe getting a franchise linebacker, those were that's the next thing. And I would probably argue Terry's over getting a linebacker. So like they need to get it done. If they don't, if Terry McLaurin plays another team, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm never gonna be mad at Terry McLaurin because of what he's had to deal with here. But I just hope we can give him an offer now before other teams have the chance to do so. Give him a deal now, whatever it is. Appreciate that, Pro-Ked. Whatever it is, give him his money now before the season starts and it gets into off season next year.
Yeah, me too, man. If Terry goes to another team, I'm never gonna forgive this franchise. Like, I shouldn't already forgive this organization for the things that they put us through. But if you lose Terry, man, I wouldn't be able to forgive this organization. I wouldn't be mad at Terry again, like you said. But other than Washington, man, I hate to say this. I love Terry. He's my favorite player in the NFL. If he was to leave, he just screams New York Jets to me. I don't know why. He just gives me New York Jets vibes, and I know that's a weird team to put him on, but he gives me a New York Jets vibe. Like I don't know if Garrett Wilson has anything to do with that, but I would see Terry probably going to the Jets. But let's not even talk about that. Terry's going to be here forever. He's my favorite player. He's the face of this franchise, and there's no way they allowed this guy to walk out the door without a contract extension. And if that happens, I'm never going to forgive this franchise ever again.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they're able to get him extended. Fat American appreciate the donation. Says we re-signing Wentz if he really does well. Oh yeah, I mean I think he's under contract for a few years, I think. So I think they'll give him an extension maybe to get a couple more years on the contract. With him under contract, but I think the deal is solid right now. So if he plays well, like we've got him under a good deal, and maybe you can extend him and give him a couple more years of guaranteed money because he's got like no guaranteed money. I'm in between 9 and 10 wins, but I'll be optimistic and say 10 wins, and I think Juan's in that same spot, 10, 11 wins for sure. I mean, DeAndre, I don't know. I'm still pressed about them signing another linebacker because, like, even if you're fine with them playing 2 linebacker sets and you're fine with Cole Holcomb and Jamin Davis, which I'm fine with Holcomb. Jamin, I mean, we're going to need him to play well, but, like, you can't expect him to be a star after not playing well at all last year. Like, we don't have anyone behind those guys that I think, can play significant snaps at a high level. Like, I like Khalik. He's a developmental guy, and at this point, I don't know what he is. Maybe he can play that Buffalo nickel position like I think Roger mentioned that, or that will linebacker. But I don't know. You got to add more depth, in my opinion. Appreciate that, Queen Sheen, class of 2022. Let's see. The 5-2 front is our base defense now. Yeah, I mean, that's what they've been doing a lot in, OTAs. We'll see what happens. I mean, I could definitely see that, but I think that's also a product of the, linebackers on the roster. I think it is. Let's see. Peter says we need to sign Deion Jones. I mean, honestly, just sign anyone besides what we have right now. And I think it's going to be an upgrade. But, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Any more questions you guys have, go ahead and throw them up. Let's see. Philip B says, I'm still salty at the whole name thing, pretending to even. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I'm kind of moved on in the name thing. But, I've gotten used to Commanders. Don't love it. I don't absolutely hate it. And yeah, it would have been nice if we could have gotten Wolves or Red Wolves, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and we'll see what they do with like the fight song and stuff like that. Let's see. Like Louis T said, there's no way they just play Terry's helmet and throw him all the rebrand marketing if there's even a. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's been so many crazy things with this franchise that. Like, I wouldn't put it past them, but I think they'll get it done. Like, I feel like they will get it done, but, like, it's getting closer and closer to training camp where, like, that's kind of my benchmark. Like, if he's not re-signed by day one of training camp, that's when I am going to start to get kind of worried. That's when I'm going to start to get pretty worried if we don't get him re-signed by then. DJ says, do you think we win the division? I don't think we'll win the division. We could, though. I think it's between us, Eagles, and the Cowboys. But I don't think we're the favorites to win, and I wouldn't bet on us winning. But there's definitely a chance. Like, for sure, there's definitely a chance. But I would probably put the Cowboys over us, maybe even the Eagles.
Yeah, so for me personally, I don't think we're going to win a division. But that's easy to say now because we're basically going off of what we've it's hard to say because, like, I don't want to say we're going off what we did last year because we're definitely improved, but it's like as a Washington fan, doesn't matter how good our team is, we've been beaten and traumatized so much by this team letting us down that it doesn't matter if we have Tom Brady on our team, man. We're gonna always expect the worst. So for me, I don't think we're gonna win a division. I think we're gonna be in a running for it. But I'm not even gonna allow myself to get hyped up to say we're gonna win a division just so I can get let down like I do every year. So I'm gonna say no, we don't win a division. Maybe I am hyping up the Eagles. I mean, the Cowboys a little too much because they definitely did lose a lot. But considering the fact that they are the only team in this division that has their quarterback situation figured out, you have to make them the favorite. At least I think so. So that's my stance on it. But yeah, hold on. What I said the top. I said our top is 13 wins. I didn't say we're going 13-4. I said that the max, like the ceiling that we have, is 13 wins. I said we're going. In my opinion, I think we're going to go 11-6. But I said the most we could win is 13-4. I didn't say we're going to win 13-4. If that was the case, I would have said 13-4 earlier when they asked me what the record is going to be.
Yep. And we got 76 people in here before we end the stream. We'll answer a couple more questions, but make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on those notifications. Also sub up to Juan. Just hit 4K.
Yes,
That's a big benchmark. So congrats to Juan on that. 5K is next for him. And yeah, let's hopefully we can get both get to 9K, Juan get to 5K relatively soon. And let's hope the Commanders are able to do well this year. I think they'll definitely do better than last year. They better do better than last year. If they don't, then something's going to have to happen. But they got to upgrade at QB. Way easier schedule than last year. Much, hopefully not as many injuries as they had the last half of the year. So I think they'll be better than last year for sure. The question, though, is how much better. So we'll see about that in, this season. I think they definitely got better. They got a much better QB, and they added some guys and getting some guys back as well. And I love the depth on the offensive line right now. It's looking really, really good. So yeah, I mean, they just got to put it together and maybe sign a couple guys to fill some holes on the defense. But I think the offense is pretty much done. Like, I don't think they'll sign anyone major on offense unless there's any injuries, knock on wood. So yeah, so let's see. I'll knock on there. I think we're gonna head out, but man, Juan, appreciate you coming through. This was a blast with Rio as well early on. And yeah, make sure you guys sub up to both of us. Hit that like button. And like we said earlier, any video suggestions you guys have, comment it down below. Put it in the chat right here. Hit us up on Twitter or whatever you want. Just let us know what video suggestions you guys have. Appreciate you guys for coming through. DeAndre Taylor, Dr. McLaurin, Philip B, DJ, Michael, Peter U, Yin Yang Experience, Cameron, Michael, King Slim, all of it. All you guys, Philip B, appreciate all you guys for coming through. It was a blast.
Before we go, my bad, Paige. Before we go, I want to answer that. My bad. So he says 11-6 will still win a division. Yeah, it would, but then again, it's like then you're counting out Philly and Dallas. So like yeah, 11-6 in this division definitely would win. It would definitely win this division, but like, what do you have Dallas and Philly going? Because then again, I still think they're. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm overhyping Dallas, but since they are the only team as this current juncture that has their QB situation figured out, they have to be the favorite to win this division, right? Like, am I tripping? Like, yeah, Jalen Hurts or the Eagles could have all this talent, but Jalen Hurts is a big question mark. For us, we have all this offensive talent. Carson Wentz is a question mark. Although we think we know how good Carson Wentz could be, he's still a question mark headed into the season. We don't know what we're getting out of Carson Wentz. They don't know what they're getting out of Jalen Hurts. The Cowboys know what they're getting out of Dak Prescott, although they did lose a lot this offseason. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're right. 11-6 still will win this division, but the Eagles have high praise. They could definitely win 11 games. The Cowboys could also win 11 games. What happens if both teams win 11 games? Like, two teams win 11 games? Or, so, I mean, yeah, it could win 11 games, but then again, that's not a guarantee, so.
Yeah, I agree. And last thing is, and Philip says, we get to the playoffs, there's a chance. That's all I want, playoffs. And yeah, I agree. So what I think is, I think a successful 2 years is one thing. If you win a playoff game in the next 2 years, that's the big success because we haven't done that since 2005. That's 17 years. Or if you make the playoffs in back-to-back years, don't win a playoff game, but you make the playoffs in back-to-back years, that also is a bonus. I don't know how long it's been since that's happened, but I think that would make a successful 2 years. So yeah, man, appreciate Juan for coming on. You got anything to plug or anything? You've been posting a ton of videos lately.
Yeah, man. Lionel, you already did everything for me, man. I appreciate it. You know, just subscribe to One Guy Talking Sports on YouTube. On the road to 5,000 subscribers. My man Pedro's on the road to 8K now, I want to say.
Yeah,
And you can follow both of us on Twitter and Instagram at One Guy Talking Sports and at Pedro. So again, make sure you guys check us out if you haven't already. And I appreciate Pedro for having me on.
Yep. Peace, guys.